All right, so thanks, listeners, once again for tuning in to what should be another excellent episode of Expert Expertise. Before we jump into that interview, just a reminder that those 2 tickets are still available for my upcoming book signing in Poughkeepsie. Just shoot me an email, shoot me a tweet, write me a mail, send me a fax. However you do that, it's looking like we may be giving those away to the first 2 entrants in that contest. But we'd love to have you there. And so moving on to the pod today. Today's going to be a real whirlwind. We're going to walk away much more learned. Today we're very lucky to be joined by Sid Pierce, a world-renowned expert in the field of advertising. Mr. Pierce, thank you so much for joining us.
It's actually pronounced Pierce, Sidney Pierce.
Sid Pierce. Okay.
Yeah.
Make note of that. Excellent. So the way we like to start off our little podcast here is, if we could just, if you could just start us off by telling us, in your own words, what is advertising?
Advertising is an easy industry. Let me tell you, Frank, you got to do one thing if you want to sell something. You got to make people horny. Sex sells everything. Okay. So let me tell you, you want to sell some earphones, throw them on a naked girl. They're going to get sold immediately. You want to sell, I don't know what's popular with the kids. I don't know what, like a bicycle, scooter.
I was thinking earphones.
Kids they still use scooters these days. Kids. Yeah.
I've been told they do. Yeah.
Put a naked woman on that. You sell it immediately.
Wow. And
I've spent the majority of my career retraining so many marketing gurus,
Okay.
They're like, hey, maybe we should, build a connection with the customer. That doesn't help. Okay. You know what? You need one connection, this connection. Okay. Interesting.
Very interesting. And I'll, you mentioned marketing gurus. I'm definitely a novice, personally. I've seen ads, the same ad dozens and dozens of times, and I still can't tell you what it's for.
That's the problem with advertisements nowadays. Okay. It's the messaging. You don't actually need any naked body, whatever it is you're trying to sell.
Okay? Excellent.
Yeah.
So maybe let's just do a little bit of role play. Let's say that I'm trying to sell a product, and I'd love for you to talk me through how you might coach me on that. So let's say the product I'm trying to sell is, I've got one right in front of me, coffee mugs. Let's say I'm producing my own coffee mugs, and I'm looking to sell those coffee mugs. How would you coach me on that?
Well, I would instead of coffee mugs, I would name it coffee jugs, and I'd probably just have a girl holding both of them like right here. You know what I mean? That would sell immediately.
Yeah. I don't even own this company, but I'm already excited in more ways than one.
Well, maybe you should. At the end of the commercial, if there's not a baby's arm holding an apple, you did it wrong.
And so we're already on to commercials. So you're thinking this would be an advertisement on TV?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, best way to advertise.
And what networks would you recommend broadcasting this on? Because I think my consumers, my customers vary in age, they vary in background, they vary in height. What would you say might be a good network to air this ad?
Sure. Hallmark, great. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of commercials on Hallmark. Same with Lifetime. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really knocking them out of the park there. Let's see, Cartoon Network is a good one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just draw the girls, and the stuff sells itself.
Sure. And by you, do you mean me as the owner of the company? I draw the girls, send them to you, and then you put them in the ads. Who's drawing these ladies?
I can make a mean stick figure, but I'm not master artist over here. I do have a guy though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any more detail about this guy? I'd love to hear about this man.
I've known this man forever. Uh-huh. We actually went to elementary school together. He got expelled from school. He was supposed to get suspended, but while he was getting lectured by the principal, he drew her naked. So.
But then that ended up being his calling.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's just been drawing, he didn't like going to that school very much anyway. So as far as he was concerned, it was a step closer to his dreams. You know? Yeah. And he just hasn't stopped since. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. His wife hates it, but
I can't imagine she wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it brings home the bacon, right? Yeah. It's like two kids playing doctor at a young age, right? And then one of them ends up becoming a physician. It sounds like real analogous to that. Excellent. Mm-hmm. And then you guys stayed in close contact. Does this gentleman have a name?
Yeah. His name is I'm having a brain fart right now.
Yeah. Your brain's full of all these good marketing ideas. I mean, I'm putting you on the spot. This is a real hard hitter. So
yeah. His name is Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. Okay. Jeffrey. Mm-hmm. Just first name. Okay. Jeffrey.
Yeah, I forget his last name, but it starts with an E for sure.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of time in the pod. We've got time to come back to that. Well, and it's really interesting that you brought this up because I did some research on a lot of your work, not knowing really your specialty, more knowing what the products were and what advertisement campaigns were out there that you've spearheaded. And something that I actually noted early in that research that I'd love to hear how you sort of pair the two together is that I know that you're very well renowned for your advertising campaigns that target babies. And I would love to just hear how you marry the two together, how you marry that sex sells messaging with these ads that are targeted towards what some might call a very young and vulnerable audience. I just love to see how you marry the two together.
Sure. Well, the first thing you got to do is have an audience, right? That's where the first commercials come in. Okay.
Great point.
Get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Get the audience. Okay. Then once you have the audience, small children, you really just got to throw up some curvy babies and let nature do its thing.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't realize this. Have you ever heard of Terrible Twos?
Yeah.
Terrible Twos is the time, when kids kind of lose their shit because they hardwired that way, right? Mm-hmm. Actually, something activates in their brain. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's the second thing that activates in their brain. First one, a desire to plow. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, and I got to say, this is a great lesson on advertising and also on child psychology and really infant psychology. So I think our viewers are going to benefit tremendously from this. Where I'm curious to dive in a little bit more is I think one, casual observer might think that, the sex sells messaging to these infants might be more targeted using voluptuous adult figures, tapping into that instinct for babies to be close to their mother and a kind of maternal figure. But it's interesting to hear you're diving right into sexualized infants as part of that messaging. And it's just something maybe I guess it wouldn't have occurred to me, but you're saying the proof is in the pudding and the results are there.
Here's the problem with adults, okay? They have to go to the gym. They have to work out, okay? Mm-hmm. To get a high, classy model, it's going to cost you some money.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Frank. You ever seen a baby?
A couple times, yeah.
They're already curvy.
Interesting. I think the word that comes to mind might be more chubby or cherubic or cute. I wouldn't necessarily go curvy, but I think they're in the same chapter of the book, right? So, okay, this is fascinating, yeah. And you must be an industry pioneer. I mean, do you have people calling at your door and looking for your input? I mean, if the results are there.
Absolutely. I had to turn my phone on silent. I had to put it on sleep mode 2 hours ago just so I can make sure I had this interview with you.
I appreciate that foresight. Yeah, I appreciate that preparation too. That's great. Well, and kind of shifting to a different one. Another ad that I know you're very well famous for is the Taco Bell dog ads from the 1990s. So Sydney, I want to ask you, in life, what do you Kiero?
I just want to, one day I'm going to leave everything behind, spend my days on a beach, ordering things just by lifting my hand. They'll already know. margarita time.
Mm.
So, as far as things that I really care about, it's not much. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, my kids are out of the house, so I don't have to take care of them anymore. So, yeah, I think I'm just looking for the time to kick back and be free,
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly.
Very interesting. Well, and, I think pivoting away from almost your expertise and talking about what else you've seen out there in the industry and with other professionals, what do you feel like is the biggest blunder that other ad execs make? I mean, I think we can infer it's not using enough sexualized, aggressive imagery in their campaigns. Are there other things that you see in ad campaigns that make those red flags go off?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys they're all concerned with things like scripts. You need a script for your advertisement. They're worried about lighting and sound. And I'm like, let's just get a good pair on the screen and sell your product,
And pair meaning?
Pair meaning breasts.
Got it.
Or anus cheeks also.
Or anus cheeks. Okay. Yeah, another interesting turn of phrase there. I appreciate that. And is lighting not critical in that? Or how do you solve for that in your own campaigns? I would imagine with the image being key that the lighting would really be the focal point.
I mean, if you can't see something, open a window. It's daytime. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, you make a great point. I think, in my younger days when I would, go out on the town and they come back, I think if you end up in the bedroom, you're not complaining about the lighting, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. And then maybe just to touch on that too with the script one, I think, just where my head goes, I think, there would generally be some sort of script and dialogue. Do most of your ads have an absence of dialogue or music? Is it mainly the images on the screen? How do you compose those?
Look, I'm not trying to win any Oscars. Okay. We don't need music. Okay. We just need beauty. We need beauty of the human form. Okay. That will sell anything.
Fascinating. And maybe, I guess another thought is maybe just take us back a little bit in the time machine. Was there ever a point where you pursued a different career and you got pulled right back into the world of advertising? Was there ever any point where you tried something else out as a career?
I've tried a lot of things. I tried selling Kirby vacuum cleaners. Okay. Number one salesman, but I hated it.
Okay.
I tried I tried my hand at plumbing.
And one hand?
Huh?
One hand or do you?
It was one hand. I tried one hand at plumbing.
Imagine that being. Oh, right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was a plumber / mechanic for a while.
Ah, okay.
I plumbed with my left. I mechanized with the right.
Okay. And that didn't work out.
No, I killed it. I crushed it. But it wasn't fulfilling.
Got it.
I needed my hands in other things. Yeah. So I tried being a professional hugger. Like I would put ads on Craigslist for people that needed hugs. And people would tell me that's the best damn hug I've ever gotten.
Interesting.
But, again, it filled them up, but it didn't fill me up. I knew that there was more. Then one day I was at the beach.
Okay.
Suddenly, I don't know, I wanted to buy the beach. Like, how do I buy this? And then I realized I don't have enough money. And then I realized I didn't want to buy the beach. I was just aroused.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then that's when it hit me, 2 and 2.
2 and 2, going back to the pair discussion, correct?
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
2 and 2 equals 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Wow. Well, I think something I'd be curious to hear is it sounds like you're a real visionary. You noted that you're a parent. If we have a lot of young listeners, I think our average demographic sometimes on certain episodes trends as low as 8 or 9. So for the 8 or 9-year-olds that are listening in volume on this discussion today, what would you say to those hundreds and hundreds of 8 or 9-year-olds listening today about how they could pursue a career in advertising?
So the first thing that I would do is I would say, go to Ross, go to the clearance rack. You get things already cheap. They're like 75% off. And then it's like an additional 20% off at the cashier. Okay.
Sure.
Buy as much of those clothes as you can.
Okay.
Find a hot chick, put them on the hot chick. And then when people are like, oh my God, where did you get those clothes from? Sell them to the people.
Interesting.
And if you're selling clothes directly off of a woman, it's a double incentive because they are already aroused because they're like, oh my God, this girl is gorgeous. And then when you buy the clothes off her, she's not wearing anything. Yeah,
I mean, it seems like a real effective strategy. Have you seen results on that in trying this, or is this just more a free lesson for the very young youths out there?
Oh, I've tried this, and I've done it successfully in a couple of places that I can't go back to anymore. The two are unrelated.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we're short on time, and we're actually at the end of the podcast, so we can't dive further into that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I just have to say we're near time. Would there be anything else, Sydney, that we haven't covered yet that you'd like to quickly walk through or send out to all the viewers out there, not just the very impressionable younger viewers that we just spoke to?
I would say life is short. So you could spend a bunch of time reading books, going to school, studying techniques for advertising, things like that.
Sure.
But that would probably take like 10 years. And all you really need is hot.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sydney, for joining. And who we have next is the world's youngest neurosurgeon. His name's Tim Speckelman, and he's going to be joining us in just a moment to talk about what it's like to be the littlest tyke on the emergency ward. Thank you again once for your time, Sydney, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Oh, I will. I'm going to go sell some